I wish I had an easy answer here. And again, Iran is not Vietnam. It's a different problem altogether. But the basic decision making and how you extricate yourself from a war under circumstances that are advantageous and expand the U.S. national interest is unclear. I see three options. You can escalate, and by the looks of tanker refueling, aircraft, advanced fighter aircraft that's being sent to the region, that's certainly a possibility. I don't think escalation, frankly, is going to change Iran's calculation on what is now the seminal issue, which are the Straits of Hormuz, right? Open on February 27, 28, now no longer free and unfettered. Second option is to walk away. And because I don't think this administration, this president, in the face of the most serious crisis of his foreign policy, can afford that. I mean, it would be a legacy-defining issue if, in fact, the straits remain closed as a consequence of a war of choice. And third, of course, is negotiation. And I still believe that both sides, despite the escalation in the last week, remain open to the possibility. The problem, of course, is how to find the right balance of interests that would allow the Trump administration and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps that are running the railroad in Tehran to walk away with a win. And right now, no trust, no confidence. The negotiations today have been performative. You can't do these on the back of a cocktail napkin. You can't do them on a cell phone. You can't do them through intermediaries. You got to be there with experts and expertise. And you need the time and space. So those are the three options. I'd go with the number three.
Right.
How we're going to get there is hard to know right now.
Do you see both sides, Iran and the U.S., committed to that kind of detailed sit-down negotiations where they are really committed to working out something rather than announcing something quickly on the back of a cocktail napkin?
Yeah, I mean, Scarlett, I think you broke the code here. And again, I've worked for Republicans and Democrats. So let me be very clear to you and your listeners. I voted for Republicans and Democrats. But when the president of the United States deploys his son-in-law and his best friend, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, even deploying the vice president to tackle the three most difficult conflicts among them in the international arena, Russia-Ukraine, Israel-Gaza, and U.S.-Iran, you can't operate that way. So you really do need authoritative negotiators. You need a strategy, and you need teams who understand what the issues are. And also, as my former boss, James Baker, would say to you, each side has to figure out a way to walk away with a win. This can't be, I win, you lose. And I think that's the problem that we face. Right now, I cannot outline for you any agreement that would reopen the straits and keep them open on terms that are acceptable to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and particularly the Guard Corps Navy, which has a vested interest in controlling the straits, and the Trump administration.
Is there any reason, Aaron, to believe that this regime in Iran is anything but secure? Is there any reason for the U.S. to pursue that tack to try to, I don't know, foment some uprising?
I mean, I think that's how we got ourselves into this problem. We had a briefing from the Prime Minister of February 11th, and the Director of Mossad, David Barnea, that basically talked about the opportunities for regime change and a president who's prepared to embrace them. There's not a shred of empirical evidence to suggest that this regime is in danger of fracturing, cracking, or frankly faces any opposition from the 90+ million Iranians who are just trying to get by.
What about the regime of Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel? National elections are set for late October. Is his future secure? And if for some reason his party does not do well in the elections, could that be an opening for some movement on Iran and U.S.?
I mean, right now, the Israelis had a pretty big impact on how the war started. They are not going to have an impact. I'll say this without hesitation or reservation on how the war ends. As far as Benjamin Netanyahu is concerned, he's on trial for robbery, fraud, and breach of trust in a Jerusalem district court, 5 years in running. If he doesn't maintain himself in power, he faces the possibility of either a conviction or alternatively a plea agreement that would end his political career. Israel needs, again, I mean, as an analyst, I would say, I'm not an Israeli, I don't play one on TV. Israel needs new leadership. And in fact, Netanyahu's governed Israel 15 out of the last 17 years. And I think, I'll take a flyer here, I think it's certainly plausible, more than plausible, that next year at this time, or even by the end of the year, Israel will have a new government.